economy with regards to GDP. Their economy as entrepreneurs of MIT collectively combined together is over 2 trillion USD. And this is just an institution. So the policy we are working on is to make sure that we leverage on digital technology to create many jobs for our teeming youths. And this is what we have started, and it has also started yielding result. Within the time frame, we were able to support our security institutions by providing some emergency communication centers. On 23rd September 2019, we commissioned the first emergency communication center that will be able to receive calls from people in distress and emergency situations, and they will be linked up immediately with relevant agencies that are to provide intervention or to rescue them from any situation they find themselves. So far from 23rd September to date, I think we have around 25 centers that are operational in Nigeria, and we have a center in each and every state. When you put your phone call, there is nothing will be deducted from your account. You will be linked up directly to the center, and there in the center, they link you up to the institution that you need their intervention, either police, either fire service, whatever you need. They have a seat dedicated for that, and they will be able to link you up. We are working on elevating and integrating the system to the extent that when you put that call, the exact location where you are making the call will be able to appear on the screen so that they will provide intervention for you immediately. On the same date of 23rd September 2019 also, we launched and harmonized our emergency toll-free number. Before, many institutions were using different numbers for their emergency call, but today we're able to harmonize and have only one number of 112, similar to 911 in the US. You can use this call. Even today after the opening ceremony, you may wish to dial 112 to see what will happen. It will link you up directly to the center, and the center will immediately link you up to the relevant institution that you need their intervention within a matter of 5 to 10 seconds. So this is also one of the things we have done, and this is in line with the agenda of our boss and at the same time our mentor, Mr. President, of promoting security of our country, Nigeria. I believe that this audience will appreciate to know that with the guidance of Mr. President, there is a case that was lingering for over 7 years, the issue of pre-registered, unregistered, semi-registered SIM cards. By the time we were appointed on or given portfolio on 21st August 2019, the actual figure of incomplete registration was not known. Immediately we took over, we were able to provide the supervision that is required to the relevant parastatal to immediately complete exercise audit and come up with the actual figure of incomplete or partial or unregistered SIMs. What they did within less than a week, we were able to discover there was around 9.2 million SIM cards in Nigeria without proper documentation. And these are the same SIMs that were being used in order to commit crime all over the country. Many believe that it was not possible to block them. Within less than 21 days, with the supervision, we were able to push them to ensure that all these SIMs were either rectified or blocked or deactivated, as the case may be. This is what the relevant parastatal did. On 21st September 2019, I received a comprehensive report, and it was the deadline that as of 25 September 2019, there wasn't any SIM in Nigeria on our network that did not have complete registration. We are grateful, Mr. President, for the support and the guidance. This is what was achieved in less than 40 days, and the case was lingering for over 7 years before. And at the same time, we are appreciative to the parastatals for always trying to respond positively to our the federal government of Nigeria. Furthermore, in October 14th, to be specific, we initially started a struggle of being part of what is called REAP, a program that is being coordinated by Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the US. It is a program that is being done in order to create millions of entrepreneurs in selected areas. We were able to participate in the competition. Usually hundreds of countries and organizations participate, and they try to restrict the number of those to be selected to 6 or 7. We participated in the process. There are 4 stages. I led a team that participated in the process, seeking for their help, come and work with us in Nigeria and create many entrepreneurs. They responded, and we followed all the processes. Finally, only 7 countries and institutions were selected globally. I am glad to inform Mr. President that we were among the 7 selected to be part of this. And not only part of it, what will make you to be happy as well, the team we led in Nigeria appears on the top of all the 7 countries. There is a team from Denmark, team from Japan, team from Saudi Arabia, and many other nations. But team from Nigeria appears on top of the 7. This is a plan of establishing many jobs in Nigeria in 3 selected areas. 1 in ICT, 2 in agric, that is tech agric. Number 3 in construction. These are the 3 areas we have agreed to work on with Massachusetts Institute of Technology on regional entrepreneurship acceleration program. In addition, in line with the policy of Mr. President of fighting corruption, we ensure that we have started the process of blocking leakages in the parastatals we supervise. Firstly, we immediately stop any cash transaction in any activity. There must be a system in place, an automated system in place. And this has started with the Nigerian Postal Services Commission, where we have an office in each and every local government of the country. We have automatically stopped cash transaction. This is an attempt of blocking leakages. And with that, we also started the process of transforming NIPOST from a solid situation to a world-class postal services agency. So far, we come up with a policy of trying to commercialize some activities and to register some companies that will be generating revenue for the federal government of Nigeria. We are working on 2 out of 4 companies we earlier proposed. Number 1 is a properties and development company. This company will be able to collect all the properties under NIPOST and see that those that can be put into use will be commercialized so that government will be able to generate revenue, because so far, based on the report I have, there are over 300 properties of NIPOST in Nigeria. Most of them are dilapidated. So our plan is to ensure we try to identify those that will support the activities of NIPOST. Those outside that will be able to be commercialized so that they will be a source of revenue for the federal government of Nigeria. And the second company is on logistics and transport company. This is another company that will be established in order to generate revenue for the federal government of Nigeria. In addition to that, to be more specific, on the 15th of November 2019, based on the priority areas given to us by Mr. President, to start the process of digitalizing government activities, or rather implementation of e-governance, with the support of COECA, that is Korea International Cooperation Agency, we in a world-class ICT training center here in Abuja, with the intention of training and retraining of our civil servants and build their capacity so that we will be able to migrate smoothly from the traditional way to the automated system of conducting governance. So the center has been commissioned and the training has also started immediately. In addition, on 25th November 2019, with the permission of Mr. President, we also launched the trial of 5G in Nigeria. And Nigeria happens to be the first country in West Africa to launch this 5G trial. No any country has done it before. So these are some of the things we've been doing. And finally, we are here today to witness the launching and unveiling of National Digital Economy for Digital Nigeria by Mr. President. This document is very important. As we all know, today's economy relies so much on digital economy. Based on the report of Oxford Economics, digital economy as it is today, up to 11.5 trillion USD. And it occupies 16% of world economy. And this number has been predicted and projected to reach 60% of world economy by 2022. Because of this, and because of the passion of Mr. President over diversifying our economy, he redesignated our ministry from Federal Ministry of Communications to Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. This is a deliberate effort of diversifying the economy of Nigeria because we have young innovators that are so passionate about ICT. So now our focus more is not just about communications, but rather how can we deploy communications and support our economy individually and collectively. There are three terms in the name. Number one is communications, number two, digital, number three is economy. So communications is just the channel. Digital is the content that is passing through the channel, while economy is the focus. So we deploy communications, we deploy ICT and communication gadgets, and we pass digital message through, and our focus is to improve our economy. So this is the perception. Today, that document will be unveiled, and we identify 8 areas. There are 8 areas that we need each and every stakeholders to give us the necessary support and work together so that by the end of 2023, we will be proud to say that Nigeria is a digitalized country. These areas in summary starting, number one is development regulation. Number two, digital literacy and skills. Number three, solid infrastructure. Number four, service infrastructure. Number five, digital services promotion and development. Number six, soft infrastructure. Then number seven, digital society and emerging technologies. Then number 8, indigenous content development and promotion. These are the 8 areas that the document is willing to address in our country, Nigeria. And finally, I have a good news for all of us. As we all know, and as it was stated by the DG of NIDA, in the second quarter of 2019, the contribution of ICT to our GDP is 13.86%, while of oil and gas is 8.82%. However, my mentor is the Honorable Minister of Petroleum, so I will not be bolting up like the DG to say that ICT is ahead of petroleum. I cannot make that statement here. I can only state the figures, but I cannot say which one is higher. I cannot make that mistake here. In the third quarter of 2019, that percentage grew up by 12.13%. So that has been incremented by 12.13%. That is telecommunications and information services. But if you combine all, there is a serious drop in publishing. But when it comes to information services and telecommunications, that one grew up by 12.13%. This is a clear indication that the economic recovery and growth of Mr. President is really on track. And we are willing to deploy ICT to make it very successful. Thank you very much for listening. May Almighty bless Nigeria.
That was the chief host of the 12th E-Nigeria International Conference, Exhibition and Awards Ceremony at the International Conference Center, Abuja, brought to you live by the Nigerian Television Authority. and the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria and Special Guest of Honor, President Muhammadu Buhari, is already seated.
Thank you again for applauding. I like his humor, but I'm not going to bore you with any lengthy accolades. I will now introduce to you the keynote speaker. And time permits me to say so much about her, but I'm emotional when I talk about the lady I call Funke. It's first name, I have that privilege. But I have had the honor of having a facility tour of her company. Companies, actually, not just being one, but also the data center she built by the sea for natural cooling effect and is built to Tier 3 standard, which means that the downtime here is less than a minute. So there's so much to say about Funke, but I will just limit myself for time to a few things that are special about her. When she graduated from Obafemi Awolowo University, the University of Ife, she was the only female member of the graduating class. Yes, you could applaud. Because what she was studying was electrical engineering, what was thought to be a course for all men, mostly, and she studied it amongst men, the only female member. And if you're a follower of technology news, you would know that Funke Obeke is one of only 3 Africans to have made the Forbes list of top 50 women in technology. But that's not all. She's actually the only Nigerian out of that 3 who is on that list for information technology. And more first things, she built from scratch after having raised over $200 million in 2008, West Africa's first privately owned submarine. After her stint as the CTO, the first lady CTO of MTN, right? So she built this and laid 7,000-kilometer cable from Portugal to Nigeria, landing in Lagos. With computing power in 2 digits, well over 10.
While the conference prepares to listen to the next speaker, just a brief rundown of what the chief host, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim, talked about in his keynote address. He talked about some of the achievements on the digital journey in Nigeria so far, including the training of more than 5,000 Nigerian women and youth to acquire various digital skills, as well as the promotion of indigenous technology.
The keynote speaker for this moment, the managing director and founder of Main One. Put your hands together for her.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction. Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, representative of the Senate President, Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, representatives, honorable ministers here present, Honorable Minister of Communications and the Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, members of the Federal Executive Council, governors here present, distinguished members of the National Assembly, the DG of our host agency, NIDA, the DGs of the other agencies under the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, CEOs and dignitaries here present, please permit me to stand on existing protocol, and good morning to you all. It is indeed an honor and privilege to give this keynote speech at eNigeria this morning. 14 years ago, I returned to Nigeria after a sojourn of almost 25 years in the United States, pursuing graduate studies and a career in ICT to contribute to the telecommunications revolution taking place in Nigeria. I came home because I felt I could make a more significant contribution here. For me, that journey resulted in the founding of Main One 11 years ago to address a critical infrastructure gap and bridge the digital divide that challenged us in Africa and in particular Nigeria. So, the opportunity to speak on behalf of our industry this morning. First, I want to thank our president who recognizes the importance of the digital economy in Nigeria's developmental journey. A president who has refocused the Ministry of Communications and initiated a president who also takes the personal time to be with us at events such as this. We are most grateful. In addition, we commend the work our president and his team is doing through various executive orders to focus on local content, ease of doing business, protection of critical infrastructure, normalization of right-of-way charges, and the hosting of various global technology leaders for the first time in Aso Rock. We are most grateful. Over the past 20 years, Nigeria has benefited from deregulation and investments in mobile technology, which have considerably improved our teledensity. However, investment in telecommunications in Nigeria has slowed down over the past 10 years, and we have not made the kind of comparative progress that we could achieve relative to other countries, considering the tremendous assets we have in natural resources and human capital. Hence, our special appreciation to the President for his personal attention to the need to grow our digital economy and the assignment of a hardworking and able foot soldier, as we just saw from his speech, as our minister to focus on the task at hand. We appeal, Mr. President, for consideration on the following issues, some of which have already been initiated. First is the need for a national ICT strategy. The Nigerian and indeed the global ICT sector today is dominated by economic players. Some of these economic players are even richer than the Nigerian state and thus very powerful. Yet, our national ICT development strategy is not clear. As Nigerians in the industry, we recognize that our national development agenda cannot be based on the profit-making agenda of businesses or simply consumption of global technology. We need government to define and pursue a specific development agenda that brings the affordable and qualitative ICT access to many more Nigerians so they can improve their skills and create jobs. And we do commend the Honorable Minister for the work that they are already doing. Without this specific policy focus, what we observe are that services continue to be focused on and infrastructure is being built in our major cities where high net worth individuals live and huge profits can be generated. While such infrastructure covers 80% of the formal economy of Nigeria, it effectively covers less than 70% of our population, is expensive, and leaves most of our towns and rural areas and the most vulnerable in our society behind. If we're going to develop skills in our youth and create jobs outside Lagos and Abuja, we need better infrastructure across the entire country. The second, beyond the need for this policy, is the need for shared infrastructure. For digital infrastructure to be sustainable, global best practice is that it is built by the private sector. And in order to be cost effective, it needs to be built as shared infrastructure. In our power sector, we have one common transmission company because we realize transmission cuts across all distribution platforms. The same sharing strategy should apply in the telecommunications sector to improve the quality of service delivery and reduce cost and speed infrastructure deployment into smaller towns and rural areas. Advanced economies with much higher GDP per capita impose regulation to ensure telecoms infrastructure is shared, and we need to do the same in Nigeria. Shared infrastructure will reduce costs to the operators, may reduce the competitive advantage that early entrants have somewhat, but will translate into price reductions to the Nigerian consumer. Recently in Nigeria, it has become increasingly difficult to deploy infrastructure because there is a belief that every telecommunications company is a cash cow and companies must pay various government agencies and even communities to play for right-of-way access, for spectrum, for base station installation, and the list goes on and on. We recognize that global players who come to our markets do not pay these fees and taxes to earn revenue here, and neither do they build infrastructure that we need to create jobs proportional to the level of profits generated. Large established players also have the critical mass to keep playing, so it keeps small players and new entrants out to limit competition. We believe that the pending Critical Infrastructure Protection Bill, passed into law, coupled with executive orders that could enable cost-effective deployment of shared telecom infrastructure across the states and into our rural areas, will make a big difference. Given the current economic environment, it is not for the government to fund the infrastructure, but it is for the government to reduce the barriers, ensure that permits are granted quickly and at low cost, ensure to adopt shared infrastructure, and penalties are put in place for not sharing, such as surcharges that make such proprietary solutions uneconomically attractive, or perhaps the granting of pioneer status for companies that are investing in infrastructure and creating jobs in Nigeria. The GSM companies enjoyed such benefits for the first 5 years of their operation, which encouraged the very high level of investment that we witnessed at that time. Third is the issue of job creation. We know technology creates jobs. In 2013, under Governor Fashola's administration in Lagos State, Main One built some fiber inspired by CC Hub to connect start-up companies. Today, we see companies such as CC Hub, Andela, Iroko, Konga, Jumia, Paga, Flutterwave, and Lifebank raising hundreds of millions of dollars in foreign direct investment and creating jobs. That is the power of technology. Technology can also be extractive because a lot can be done across virtual borders with no physical presence in Nigeria. So, we build our national digital economy strategy. We need to put in place the proper framework so our companies are able to grow to global scale, especially startup companies in Nigeria. Many countries do not allow foreign businesses play in certain areas of the economy because indigenous companies need to create local jobs. We have examples from trading in Ghana to supermarkets in India and data centers in China. Databases of critical importance to Nigerian citizens, such as identity and government accounts, are hosted offshore, Mr. President. Our country faces inherent risks. We are pleased our skills and even our startup ventures abroad, and we need to do more to retain our collective wisdom here. In this virtual world, where almost any service in Nigeria can be delivered from offshore, we need to be deliberate about our strategy so as not to remain simply consumers of technology. We need to encourage global players to domesticate technology platforms here in country and create jobs if they want to play. And invest in our economies to get a return, not simply to extract value. If our citizens do not have jobs, we will remain largely unable to afford these technologies over time. So it is indeed in everyone's enlightened self-interest that we create jobs in Nigeria. Beyond agriculture and trade, we believe ICT and the service economy presents the phenomenal job opportunities for our youth to service not just the Nigerian economy, but the entire English-speaking world. We would appreciate your support, Mr. President, of the right incentives and making available some of the available redundant public spaces. Our minister spoke about post offices is only one example, with power and internet access for our young technology companies to thrive. Government does not have to run the hubs, but support private sector players who have to generate an income to make them work. In closing, Mr. President and distinguished guests, we believe ICT should not be a space led by direct government investment, but a space where government enables Nigerian capacity to create value and jobs in Nigeria for Nigerians. Those of us in this space recognize that it is indeed a global race, and we appreciate that our president is assisting to make those of us who participate in this industry in Nigeria more globally competitive. We appeal, Mr. President, to do more. We appeal also that the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy not simply drive those programs from Abuja, but that digital economy offices should be established in each geopolitical zone of the country, and we need to charge these offices to facilitate governments can enable incentives, provide training, provide access to various government services, but then these agencies should also be tasked to create 1 million direct jobs per year. It is possible. With the right support and incentives, global and local players will make the necessary investments to drive development. Mr. President, we believe the digital economy can add 1 trillion naira per year to Nigeria within the next 4 years. With the improving ease of doing business, I also appeal to my fellow industry players and the floor here that we need to focus on creating jobs in Nigeria. We, Nigeria, and both to our domestic and global players, I say we, Nigeria, have the largest economy and population in sub-Saharan Africa and should serve as a natural hub for the continent. Our infrastructure is improving, and we have able-bodied youth who can be trained to deliver world-class services from here. We also have the connectivity and the infrastructure to enable that content flow, as the Minister for Communications and Digital Economy earlier stated. We know that the improving policy support that we are receiving will change the narrative for Nigeria's digital economy and create a shared prosperity for our people. The 1 million digital jobs to be created in this administration can become 5 million jobs in 10 years. Coupled with the infrastructure that Mr. President is focused on delivering to Nigerians in power, transport, and agricultural self-sufficiency, ICT can change the face of Nigeria, powered not by oil, but our population and the digital economy. Thank you very much.
That was the Managing Director of Main One Limited, Ms. Funke Opeke, on her keynote address on driving national digital economy, which incidentally is the theme of the 12th e-Nigeria conference. She made a case for inclusion so that all Nigerians, regardless of background, can access the many benefits of a digital society, as well as the supporting infrastructure needed to achieve this. She says the digital sector can contribute 1 trillion naira per year within the next 4 years if developed appropriately.
The digital minister to lead us into a digital economy. When proper people are placed in appropriate positions, good things begin to happen.
Now, previous 11 editions of e-Nigeria have focused on developing indigenous technology, spawning many startups, leading to many new technological startups, 2 of which will be awarded here today. Other achievements include Nigeria's participation at the Gulf Information Technology Exhibition, GITEX 2019, where 10 Nigerian startups participated in the competition, and 2 of them actually went on to become runners-up in the event. One of them won the first prize of $10,000 in the artificial intelligence category.
Global IT competitions. Mr. President, with the proper which we are experiencing, all unanimously agree that you have given us a minister who is an inspiration to our generation. Nigeria's participants at the competition, I am happy to say, carted away the overall global winner and the finalists in the categories of artificial intelligence. At this juncture, permit me to respectfully call on my boss, the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, to invite the President as he presents the winners of that competition, the President. The Honorable Minister, Communications and Digital Economy, please can we have the winners come up from the right-hand side of the stage?
Mr. President, sir, with your kind permission, I just want to make clarification that we have 3 issues on our agenda now, and when Mr. President stands up, he will not go back to his seat until all the three are executed. Firstly, Mr. President, with the support of the members of the High Table and honorable ministers and the CEOs of parastatals under the ministry, we will winner and the semi-finalist award. Secondly, Mr. President will go ahead with his speech, and after that he will unveil the national digital economy next to his podium. So these are the three things remaining. However, before that, I think there is a very important issue based on the speech of our keynote speaker, our respected sister Funke Opeke, about what government has been doing to address some of the challenges she outlined. Firstly, I know there is an issue that has been lingering of harassing innocent Nigerians carrying laptops and computer facilities in Lagos. Under the directives of Mr. President, on 2nd October, we are mandated to liaise with security agencies to carrying computers is in any way arrested. And I think so far we are on top of the situation. If there is any complaint similar to that, we will be happy to be informed so that we can intervene again. Secondly, on the issue of our local content, as she earlier said, federal government has been doing well to address the challenges. We all know that on the 1st May 2017, an executive order was signed. And the same on 12 February 2018, another presidential order was released on the patronage of local content. On the issue of vandalization of telecommunications facilities, with the direction of Mr. President, we have been working with the Attorney General of the Federation on that. On Monday, 25th, I was in his office. On 26th, that is last Tuesday, I was with Attorney General on that issue. Yesterday, Wednesday, I was with Attorney General on the same issue of trying to issue an executive order to protect telecommunications facilities. On the right of way, with the director of Mr. President, we also contacted relevant bodies about the harmonization. So this is just a clarification of what federal government has been doing to address all these challenges. And I do hope that it will make her to appreciate what we have been doing. Thank you very much. So the first one now is the presentation of award. Mr. President has directed me to lead a Nigerian team from 6 October to 10 October 2019 to United Arab Emirates, Dubai, to participate in a global competition. It is the largest global competition of ICT in Europe, Asia, Africa, and Middle East, in which around 130 countries attended the event. So I led a Nigerian team under the coordination of the National Information Technology Development Agency. We went there with our 10 young innovators. Initially, there was an open portal for all our young innovators to participate and present their innovation. 168 applied. After screening, the number reduced to 45. Later on, after rigorous screening again, it was reduced to 10. This team of 10 young innovators from Nigeria attended the event. So I'm glad to tell you that 2 out of the 6 that participated in the core competition there, one of them emerged among the finalists. He came up with an innovation, what is called 247 Medics. It is an artificial intelligence application under health sector that will be able to link up patients with their doctors. If you have that application, you don't need to travel to see your doctor. That application, your doctor will be able to monitor you, investigate, and they will be able to link you up with a laboratory in the nearby where they will come and take the sample, test the sample, send the report to your medical doctor, and he will be able to prescribe treatment for you. This application was developed by a young Nigerian by name O. Stephen. He emerged among the finalists. He reached the final stage of the event. And with this, we assume that he is the second position from our team. And the first one, again, is another young innovator from Nigeria who developed an app which is called Chiniki Gat. It is an application that can be deployed in a shopping mall or office. It will be able to convey any suspicious activities within the premises on a real-time basis. When there is any suspicious movement, it will automatically record it and convey it to the security on real-time basis. That product is an artificial intelligence product under emerging technology, which is the most celebrated field to the world. He emerged as the global best by defeating 749 participants from other countries, and not only that, from 73 countries. In that category, 73 countries participated with 749 participants. And I'm glad to say that the guy from Nigeria, a young innovator by name Abdul Hakim Bashir, emerged as the global best. We are all children of Mr. President, but what would interest you to know, this is a boy that came from a village of Katsina State. This is to show you the talent we have in Nigeria. He came from a village in Katsina State, but he came up with this product and he won the global best position. So the winner was given a small stipend amount of money by the government of United Arab Emirates, a donation of 10,000 USD. We did not allow him to take. We are all children of Mr. President. So we are here to present the award to Mr. President so that he will hand over that award to the winner. And secondly, the federal government of Nigeria has also provided another award of 5 million naira for seed fund to support him. This amount, 5 million naira of the federal government, is to support the product so that he will be able to build it and deploy it in relevant places. Over 15 international and multinational companies indicated their interest to develop the application, but we stopped them. We say, okay, let us bring him back to his country, present him to Mr. President, so that we will be able to link him up with the Minister of Justice to ensure that his interest and that of his country is not compromised in any way. So we are here to present. And the second position, the federal government of Nigeria has also donated 3 million naira for him as seed fund in order to support the product. And after that one, Mr. President will go ahead and make his presentation. And finally, the document will be unveiled. During unveiling the document, I want to appreciate also the effort of World Bank. They did a significant work of producing what is called Nigeria Digital Economy Diagnostic. It is a very comprehensive document that they provided for Nigerian government in order to support our digital economy strategy, most importantly towards implementation. We are most appreciative and recognize their support and the support of many other stakeholders and development partners. We thank all of them. So I think the winners can come so that...
Please, may I respectfully invite all federal ministers in the building to please come up and support the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy in making this presentation. The Minister of Police Affairs, please. Humanitarian Disaster Management, the Minister of State for Agriculture, that is Osawuru Stephen, the finalist. And then now we have Abdul Karim Bashir, who is the overall global winner with his app, Chiniki Guard. He beat 750 other contestants from 76 countries to clinch the position. This is an attestation to the fact that there is no dearth of potential potential in this country. May I, at this juncture, quickly recognize the presence of the State Minister of Environment in our midst. You're welcome. And may I, at this juncture, respectfully and quickly invite all of us to please stand up and support the President as he moves to the podium to make his presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR.
Please sit down. Thank you. Your Excellency, the Governor of Nasarawa State, members of the National Assembly, honorable ministers of communication and digital economy, and other ministers present here, senior government officials, our keynote speaker, members of academia, developmental partners, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to participate in this opening ceremony of the 2019 E-Nigeria Conference Exhibition and Awards. Globally, the digital economy is expanding at a very fast pace. In just a few years, this platform has transitioned from being a luxury to an absolute necessity. It is in recognition of this fact that we decided to redesignate the Federal Ministry of Communications as the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, with a mandate to develop and implement a harmonized and well-coordinated digital economy policy and strategy for Nigeria. The second quarter report by the National Bureau of Statistics in 2019 showed that the information and communications technology sector contributed an impressive 13.85% to the GDP of Nigeria. This clearly shows the importance and potential of the ICT sector to our job creation and economic diversification agenda. Already, Nigerian ICT startups are leaving their mark on the global stage. For example, at the Gulf Information Technology Exhibition, a Nigerian artificial intelligence solution provider, Chiniki Guards, took first place, beating 750 contestants from 73 countries. We shall continue to encourage and support such digital entrepreneurs to develop innovative solutions for local and global challenges. In public service, the digitalization of key activities such as the use of the bank verification number, treasury single account, and the integrated payroll and personnel information system has enabled us to save costs and fight corruption. Of course, as we celebrate the successes and explore the opportunities in this sector, we must remain mindful of its threats. We all know how the use of unregistered and improperly registered SIM cards by terrorists a key national security threat. Today, I am informed that over 9.2 million SIM cards have either been normalized, blocked, or deactivated in less than 40 days due to improper registration. We encourage all Nigerians to ensure that their phones are properly registered. As a government, lives and properties of all Nigerians. Ladies and gentlemen, you will all recall that e-Nigeria 2018 conference, we directed that all government-funded ICT projects must be reviewed and cleared by National Information Technology Development Agency. Our goal was to enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of government procurement processes. Today, I am informed that through this directive, government has saved over 16.8 billion naira. I want to encourage the Ministry, National Information Technology Development Agency, to sustain this tempo. Our recent introduction of the Nigerian our successes to date and increase interoperability among the different ministries, departments, and agencies of government. A key equipment of the e-government master plan is for all government institutions to create a digital transformation technological working group that will work with the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy to ensure seamless and coordinated implementation of projects, programs, and policies. Furthermore, the Nigerian e-government interoperability framework, the enterprise architecture, and the Nigerian data protection regulation are in place, and all ministries, departments, and agencies are expected to comply. Co-directed the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy to develop training that will be rolled out across all key DAs with immediate effect to ensure seamless implementation of the master plan. I wish you very fruitful and impactful deliberations as I look forward to receiving a very comprehensive report with your recommendations on how we can improve and expand Nigeria's digitalization agenda for the betterment of our country. I thank you for your attention, and I hereby declare this conference open. Thank you.
Only the CEOs under the purview of the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy who are not already on the stage to please join the Honorable Minister in assisting the President to unveil the National Digital Economy Strategy. The National Digital Strategy Economy is the document that provides the policy direction for digitalizing Nigeria.
President Muhammadu Buhari has just formally declared three-day events open, as well as unveiling the blueprint for the national digital economy strategy, which is to expand Nigeria's technological innovation and contribution on a global level.
To bring to a close the opening ceremony of E-Nigeria 2019. Thank you. May I please ask that the members of the press make way for the President, and may we please remain standing while the President leads the members of the responsibility table out of the hall. Thank you very much. The President is going to make a tour of the exhibition stands outside. May I respectfully call on all ministers, chairmen of governing councils, CEOs of federal and state parastatals here present to please accompany him and support him while he tours the exhibition stands of indigenous startups. Thank you.
President Muhammadu Buhari, having formally declared the exhibition open, is on his way to tour the exhibition stands here at the International Conference Center organized by the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA. In his keynote address, the President talked on the government's vision for a digital Nigeria, which the Ministry of Communications says stands at 13% of ICT contribution to the economy. The President also talked about plans for expanding the ease of doing business in Nigeria, which will attract a global market. This was all preceded by presentation of awards to the runner-up at GITEX 2019, 247 Medic, a medical software and brainchild of Stephen Saho. The software connects patients, especially those in rural areas, with medical experts from the comfort of their own homes. There was also the presentation of $10,000 to the first prize winner at GITEX 2019. That's Hakim Bashir, the innovator of Chiniki Guard, an artificial intelligence software which analyzes data in real time to prevent theft in shops and offices. Now, E-Nigeria is an annual information technology conference hosted by the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, a federal government agency under the supervision of the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. It is at such exhibitions that talent like Abdul Hakim Bashir and Stephen Osaho were discovered. And now the president is currently at an exhibition stand looking at one of the innovations of a young tech entrepreneur. Now, it's important to note that the event is hosted in collaboration with other relevant stakeholders from both the public and private sectors, as well as non-governmental organizations and academia. It serves as a platform for ICT awareness creation, development of appropriate regulatory instruments, and best practices in order to facilitate the positioning of Nigeria in the global information society. The president there talking young tech innovators.
It's been amazing, it's been fun. We've met a series of investors, prospective partners as well. Most of them are asking us to come to Dubai, to US, and all of us. So it's a lot of invitation as well.
The tour of the exhibition stand still taking place. Now, some of the exhibitions on display include original indigenous innovations by our own local technicians, young people who sat down to think of solutions to problems in their areas. We also have exhibitions from other tech giants from across the country represented at the International Conference Center.
And also, we've been able to meet people who are potential partners in the terms of developing the AI that we need to make our products fully complete.
In addition to showcasing indigenous innovations, the event, which will hold from the 28th to 30th November 2019, will also feature discussions on creating new job opportunities and economic development through technological innovation. It will also talk about harnessing indigenous innovation and creativity for poverty reduction in Nigeria, as well as leveraging disruptive innovation for achieving good health, national security, anti-corruption, and sustainable energy systems.
telecommunication services throughout the country. Nigeria has one of the largest telecom markets in Africa. The sector over the years has contributed immensely to Nigeria's economy and the lives of Nigerians, steadily adapting to trends and technological advancements. The Consumer Affairs Bureau of the Commission was established in 2001 as an interface between the consumer, service providers, and the regulator, with a mandate to protect, inform, and educate consumers.
Day one of e-Nigeria gradually coming to a close with the departure of President Muhammadu Buhari, and also in ICT to network and showcase their talent. Now, from all of us here at the International Conference Center, the OB crew from the Nigerian Television Authority, I'm Naja'atu Tijani, thanking you for joining us and asking you to stay tuned for the National Award ceremony coming up next.